It's more like an interrogation rather than talking about your medical concerns. And because of this shame, judgment and awkwardness, here in India, women's health is treated like a shit. And the numbers are shocking. Only 1 in 5 women in India have ever visited a Gynaec. You know what's scarier than watching a horror movie? It's booking an appointment with a Gynaec in India, especially if you're unmarried. God saves you then. Because as soon as you enter the Gynaec's clinic, the raised eyebrows of the receptionist, the subtle questions coming from the doctor about your marital status, it can make you feel like a shitty person even though you haven't done anything wrong. And as soon as they come to know that you are unmarried, still you are sexually active, the tone of the conversation completely changes. I don't know, but people just feel that a Gynaec's job is to treat a pregnant woman only, or maybe just to deliver a child. But women's reproductive health is so much more than that. Women are suffering from a lot of things, but just because of this awkwardness which is attached to the women's health, the judgment that comes from everyone around that space, they stop them from visiting a Gynaec. And we could clearly see, irregular periods, hormonal imbalances, PCOS, endometriosis, even STDs. Nobody wants to talk about it because it's not a safe space. You are not being able to feel safe about it. You are not feeling that confident and comfortable in talking about anything which is actually related to your health. And that is why, even though it's not a crime, you still feel like you are the shittiest person because you are treated that way. And it's very, very unfortunate. I know that usually we feel that, these kind of things happens in small towns or maybe even villages. No, that's simply not the case. I live in a metropolitan city, and recently I had to visit a Gynaec and I had the same experience. The raised eyebrows, at least 3 times I was being asked whether I'm married or unmarried, and the way people look at you, even though your problem could be completely different. But as soon as you enter a Gynaec's clinic and you are not having a husband around, it feels like you are a characterless woman. Because when you visit a Gynaec's clinic, so it doesn't feel like you're going there to, get yourself treated. Moreover, it feels like you're going there to get a character certificate, because already the eyes over there are simply judging you. It's just the double standards. One side we talk that how we should be promoting safe sex and we try to promote the contraceptive methods. On the other hand, we are treating people like this. So how is going to be their comfort when it feels like interrogation? And this is the reason that still people are so uncomfortable in buying condoms or talking about emergency pills or talking about different contraceptive methods. Why? Because when something happens, it's very easier to say nowadays that young people are so irresponsible. Oh my god, that girl got pregnant even without getting married. So it's always easier to blame the other person, right? But it's very important to understand that anyone is sexually active before marriage. It's not a crime. There is nothing against the law. The point over here is that if you do not want to have a child, you need to be responsible about it, and that is why we promote safe sex, we promote different methods of contraceptions. We want to make people aware about different kind of STDs so that they can take care of themselves, right? On the other hand, we treat them like shit as soon as they enter a Gynaec's clinic, even though she has gone to the Gynaec regarding her irregular periods or maybe hormonal imbalances, but still we treat them like they are the criminals over here. So of course there is going to be this awkwardness. Of course there will be this fear of judgment. Of course there will be this shame attached to being sexually active also. Or maybe even if the woman is not sexually active, even if she speaks up at her home that the periods are not regular and she needs to visit a Gynaec, she will be asked 10 questions. Why? Why are the periods not regular? What have you done? Why do you need to visit a Gynaec? Have you done something wrong? These are the most common questions that every girl goes through. And that is why most of the girls, they prefer staying quiet rather than take care of their own reproductive health. In this century also, if these things are being spoken about, we are more concerned about giving a character certificate to a woman for having sex before marriage rather than being concerned about the reproductive health of a woman. So we need to work on ourselves rather than telling them or giving them the lecture of morals that what is right and what is not, right? So if you are a girl listening to this, please do not hesitate to take care of your health. And if you are a parent or a doctor listening to this, please work on creating a safe space where a woman can talk about her reproductive health without the fear of judgment or shame, right? It's important to have these conversations, and it's important that we take one step at a time. My step was to put this conversation up. So let's take care of ourselves, because it's not a sin, it's a strength.